Hello, we made it to the weekend. Can you believe it? It's Friday. It's the Friday before Christmas. We only have one more Friday left in this year, and I'm so glad that I am here to see today. First, let me just say thank you to everyone who reached out and asked me about what happened, why the emergency the other day that I had to jump off. And let me just explain. So, I told y'all before that at the end of the month, my job will be ending. But I have two sisters, and they live out in Texas, and one of them happens to be in the hospital. So in the midst of me doing my broadcast last week, or on Wednesday, my oldest sister called me, and we still didn't quite know what was wrong with my sister. So I had to jump off because I was concerned about what was going on with her. But it's given me a great opportunity to talk about the fact that, with me in my life, often when I'm going through something, it's not just one thing at a time. It's multiple things that are happening with me in my life. So the job situation, the health of my sister, maybe something else might be going on, a car or something else, that I would have to deal with. We have that, right? Because we live in life and life happens to us. So we are used to having to deal with a lot of things at one time. Haven't you been in that situation where seems like it's not just one storm, or what's that saying? If it ain't one thing, it's another. Well, when that happens, what do? What is the most important thing that you can do when you are in that kind of situation? I would submit to you that it's all about your attitude. This morning when I was doing my reading, I was reading from The Healing Power of Humor by Alan Klein. And in it, when he talks about attitude and the effect your attitude can have, he says that being positive about negative things in your life is hard. It's hard work, but it can be done. Have you ever seen somebody or met people that they always negative? You ask them, how's life going? Oh, this happened to me, and they got to tell you every little woe that's going on with their life. But then you'll meet somebody else that is going through something. But they'll have a smile on their face, and you ask them, how is life? And they'll say, life is great. Life is wonderful. I did this. I was able to do that. That's because of their attitude. That's because they have chosen to look at what's happening in a positive light as opposed to a negative light. We all have heard about the glass, where you have the water in the glass and you ask somebody, is the glass half full or half empty? That's supposed to tell you whether or not a person has a pessimistic outlook on things or optimistic outlook on things. If it's half full, that means there's room for more to go in. So that's optimistic. If it's half empty, then that's the pessimistic side. But what is your attitude about things? When things happen to you, how do you initially react? Do you initially look for the negative in it? Are you always looking at the negative side of it? Or do you look to see whether or not there's something positive that you can take from it? That there was something positive that happened as a result of it? For instance, I told y'all, my job is ending. But you know what? For 4 years, I was very immersed in the culture of the voting rights advocacy. And it helped me to develop myself as a person of influence in that area, and as a go-to person where people now look to me for information about voting rights. So that was wonderful. It gave me a skill. I came out of that with a skill that I'm going to be able to use and go further with. And that's how I can look at this positively. Yeah, there's going to be some changes, and I wish I still had a job, but I'm not worried about that, because I do know that I am a child of the Most High and that He has provided for me and He will continue to provide for me. And I believe that. And I know that I have skills that I can use. I'm not going to sit back and just say, okay, Lord, take care of me, feed me. I'm going to use my skills and the talents that He gave me. I'm not going to be like that story. Any of you know the story of the talents where there were 3 people and one was given 10 talents, one was given 5 talents, and one was given 1 talent. And the person who was given 1 talent went and hid and buried his talent. The one that was given 5 doubled his, and the one that was given 10 doubled his. And then when they came back, the one with 1 ran and got the one and said, God, see, look, Master, I saved and I preserved what you gave me. And he was the one that was said, get away from me. No, I'm going to use the talents that God gave me, and I'm going to keep looking at everything I go through as a blessing, because there's something good that came out of it. There's something good that I can take into the next step that I make. And I hope that you each will start to look at it that way. Because see, when I talk about the party's not over until God says so, that's because I know I've been through some things. And I know that when other people count you out, as long as you keep a positive attitude, as long as you know who you are and what you were made to do, you can continue to go. You just can't give up on yourself. You have to know. And so that takes developing that self-confidence. That takes having some self-esteem. And that takes work. It's not something that just happens overnight. I wish it did. But it took me a long time to get there. And then I got there once, and then I allowed somebody else to knock it down. And I had to rebuild it over and over. But now I'm in that position where I am so thankful. I am so happy. I live with a life of gratitude. And that's why I know it's all about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. They say will determine your altitude. You want to go high? Develop a positive attitude. Thank you all for joining me. Please follow me on Instagram at _Lynn_Whitfield, or you can also go to my website and follow me there. It's lynnwhitfield.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Have a great weekend. This is Lynn Whitfield, your sister and your beacon of light, navigating you to a better and brighter tomorrow. Go out, have fun, and laugh on purpose.